Fueled by the popularity of K-pop and K-dramas, Korean education is another aspect that's getting global attention these days. Korea, or to be exact, the capital Seoul, is also serving as an education platform for the global rotation program of one of the world's most innovative universities, Minerva University. Now today, we are joined by Mike Magee, the president of Minerva University, to talk about the Minerva Seoul campus, innovative learning, and the future of education. Welcome, President Magee.
Welcome, Mr. Magee.
Thank you very much.
Happy to have you on the program. Now, first and foremost, please introduce to us Minerva University, and also how is it different from other universities, and also what brought you to Korea this time around?
Well, thank you very much. Minerva is a very young and very innovative university. In fact, we've been ranked #1 by the World University Rankings for Innovation for 4 consecutive years. And that's really for 2 reasons. One, we decided that young leaders need to have a global experience during their undergraduate education. And so all of our students study on 4 continents in 4 years. And they live in residential communities with students from dozens of other nations, and we treat that as an important part of the learning experience. Secondly, we've completely reimagined the classroom experience for higher education. And so we have no lectures at Minerva University. All of our students are in small seminars that are discussion-based, facilitated by expert faculty, and are connected to project-based learning that takes place all over the world in exciting cities from Seoul to Buenos Aires to Berlin to Hyderabad.
Wow.
That sounds very fascinating, actually. I wish I could have done my undergraduate at your university.
Maybe it's not too
now.
late.
Yeah, I should do another undergraduate then. But can you please explain to us this global rotation program, and how does it work, and how effective is it for the students?
We think very effective, and we have 7 graduating classes at this point who have gone on to selective graduate school, to work in Fortune 500 companies and NGOs and governments around the world. So we think the Minerva model really works for talented young people in every nation. You spend your entire first year in San Francisco, learning our way of teaching and learning at Minerva University. And then in your next 3 years, you are actually in different cities around the world, in our residency halls with Minerva professors, faculty, and staff, but also taking our seminars on our virtual learning platform with students from all over the world. So when you're studying in Seoul at Minerva University, you can also be taking live classes at the same time with students in Taipei and San Francisco and Buenos Aires. That's an exciting thing because it keeps you connected to a global personal and professional network of learners as part of the learning experience.
Wow.
So very exciting, but also very convenient. So most of the classes are then online based?
Yes, they're on a virtual learning platform that was actually designed for our university from the very beginning. And it's designed to support our pedagogy, our way of teaching. So a faculty member, a professor at Minerva University, in every single class knows not only who is participating in that class, but knows a lot about the quality of their participation in the class so that they can prompt students with questions, encourage them to get involved in the discussion, share information right on that platform with students in order to support their learning. So it's a very lively discussion-based seminar model. And again, it's connected to projects. So Minerva University students have a real sense that their learning every single class, every single day is relevant to the kind of problems that they are passionate about solving.
Sounds very exciting and interesting. Now, also, I can imagine that the Seoul campus or Seoul program is drawing a lot of attention these days on the back of the popularity of the Korean wave. And also, are there any aspects in regards to that boom of the K-wave that you are focused on during your visit right now in Seoul and also elsewhere in Korea, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, to me, as an outsider, as a U.S. resident, the K-wave is very intimately tied to Korean culture in general. And I think what we're experiencing around the world, and certainly in the U.S., is a deep fascination with Korean culture, every aspect of Korean culture. So that's exciting for us, and actually we've experienced that for over a decade now. When our students come from around the world to spend time in Seoul, they're deeply interested in Korean culture. They want to learn about culture, politics, the economy of Korea, the challenges with issues like climate change that are specific to the geography of Korea, obviously Korean food. All of those things I think are of great interest to the young people who come to Minerva. What we're most excited about now is imagining that Seoul and Korea in general can actually be a full ecosystem of Minerva learning, not just for our undergraduates, but for graduate students and in executive education, and even for high school students or middle school students who want to collaborate in this learning model over time. We've just built our first campus in Japan in Tokyo, and those resources are allowing us to build this type of year-round ecosystem. That's exactly the kind of thing that I want to do in Seoul with the right philanthropic and government and corporate partners.
Right, that really sounds very intriguing.
Yes, and so the world is experiencing Korea through K-pop and K-dramas, of course. How do you see Hallyu as a learning asset for Minerva students?
Well, there's so many great opportunities for students to learn as part of a rotation in Seoul. Not only about Korean culture through narratives like you see in K-dramas and K-pop, but also because Korea is in such a unique position when it comes to global geopolitics, for instance. And because there's so much to learn from Korean history. As a incredibly resilient nation that's gone through many, many different phases in its history. So there's just rich opportunity to learn here, and so many exciting partners for us when it comes to things like project-based learning, for instance. We've built over almost a decade what we call civic partners across Korea, but especially in Seoul, who engage our students in complex projects, who offer our students internships, who help them to think about their own career pathways. So it's exactly the kind of learning environment and environment of partners that we seek out all over the world when we are planning to build Minerva programming.
And the Minerva education model is widely recognized as being very innovative. You have mentioned that before, but it's been also ranked as the top innovative university for the fourth consecutive year, and that is by the World University Rankings for Innovation. So do you believe your model has the potential to have some significant impact when it comes to collaborations with other Korean universities or maybe Korean companies?
I hope so. Last year, I was on stage with President Ryu of Seoul National University, and we both agreed that we would love to find ways to collaborate that are mutually beneficial. I think those types of collaborations are definitely possible. And whenever we build programming in a particular place, we want to be good members of that community. So anything we can do to help the education system in Korea, to partner with other universities, to partner with government, to innovate and improve the quality of education, we would love to do that.
I'd like to talk a little bit more about the students, actually. So what changes in students' values or culture do you feel most strongly these days? And also, what implications do these generational shifts, per se, have in terms of the direction of global education?
Well, I think two observations I would make is I think young people today are really seeking out learning communities that give them a deep sense of belonging. Because of technology, because of social media and social changes that are happening in many nations around the world, it's harder and harder for young people to have a real sense of community and belonging, and we give that to students at Minerva University. It's kind of surprising because we have students from over 100 nations. But when you live in residential life at Minerva, you build deep, lifelong bonds with your fellow classmates from across cultures around the world. So that's one thing that we notice. They're actually seeking out that sense of belonging when they choose a university for themselves. The second is they're increasingly anxious about what kind of jobs they're going to be able to have in the future. And this is another thing that I think we do exceptionally well. We ask students before they ever enroll at Minerva, what kind of problems are you passionate about solving? We help them think about their sense of purpose, the kinds of careers that they would be good at, the kind of skills that will help them to adapt to a changing workforce over the course of their long careers. And I think this does reassure young people that Minerva is a community that will help them for the rest of their lives to find work that is meaningful to them and helps them to support their families.
Wow.
I think that's very important because in such a fast changing world these days with artificial intelligence and everything, it's really difficult to predict how the job market is going to look like in 10 years from now or 20 years from now. So I think it's very important to have that, strong, the university backing you up when it comes to your future. And last but not least, we actually want to ask you for a final message to Korean students and Korean parents or guardians, as well as everyone involved in education. Would there be a message that you would like to spread out? Maybe not just Korean educators and students, but to the world.
Well, I would say we believe strongly that the future of education is project-based and that it's global. And so we want many, many more Korean students, the most talented students in Korea, to continue to enroll in Minerva University. We are growing, so my goal is that many, many more talented Korean students will attend Minerva University over time. And if they do, they will have a community that stays with them for the rest of their lives to support their careers and all of their goals in life.
All right. Thank you very much. On that note, we want to say goodbye to you, President Magee. Thank you for joining us on the program and hope you have a wonderful time during the rest of your stay in Korea.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to see you here back soon.
See you very soon.